Hi, I'm Danny Queen. Welcome to another exciting edition of Color Me Poetry. Today, I have a young man with us from, he's from the DMV, but he's a student at UDC, and he performed at Union Temple at my church at Union Temple back in December for Kwanzaa, and he brought the house down. Y'all listen to me, brother brought the house down, and his name is Christian Sutton.
Hello, Mr. Queen. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be
Speak up,
here.
man.
Hello, Mr. Queen. Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So tell me about yourself as a writer. How long you been doing this?
I've been doing this since late August 2017. I just started writing not too long ago, probably like 2 years.
So what made you get into writing?
I was always playing basketball first. I wanted to play collegiately. I played in high school. I went to Perry Street Prep. That's like off of 18th and Perry Street. No fees, but I wanted to do more. And what can I do? And more, I was like, why not speak? But I always want to do it on a positive level, no cursing, no vulgar language or bad language. And I just took off and run with it.
Now, you know other young people your age who write as well, who do get into the four-letter words and all that?
Yeah.
Why do you think they do that?
Give themselves a voice.
You can't have a voice unless you curse?
I mean, sometimes, like, that's the only way some people can express themselves. And they and that's the only way they can garner attention and make sure they have conviction. From some people that I see that curse, like
by using four-letter words.
Yes, people are different. Like,
wow,
I know people that does music or rap or poetry as well, like, and that's how they get their message across. But me, I don't have to do that. I can give it to you.
And you know what? I appreciate you for that, man, because I've been writing for more than 40 years.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't never had to use a four-letter word.
Yeah.
When you have mastery of the language, you don't need four-letter words.
Extensive vocabulary.
Extensive vocabulary. You don't need four-letter words. And I've written all kinds of stuff, political and everything else. Never had to use a four-letter word.
I always look at it as presentation, representation of yourself. Like, I always want to be looked at in a great light, no matter even the good, bad, or ugly. Make a mistake, but I always want to do stuff as a positive. Use my skill, talent, and gift as a positive reinforcement. So
now, when you hear young people who use those four-letter words in their writing, or when they speak in spoken word, how does that make you feel?
Make this kind of lazy. Don't have much care to me. You know what I mean? It's always other ways to get a point across.
Yeah.
No matter, it's creative. It's all creative. Artistic. Like, put more thought into it. Just feel like it's lazy writing or whatever thoughts.
Wow, that's interesting you say that. So writing for you has, like, the light just came on.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So do you feel like sometimes that as a writer, because you are a writer, that creativity sometimes has a mind of its own? Because suddenly it just hit you, and you wrote this beautiful piece.
Yeah. Inspiration, creativity is different. It comes at different moments and spaces, but I mean, with me, with other things going on, I just, when I get it, like how you just stated just a few minutes ago. It's like when you get it, and it's just like you just want to write. It's therapeutic. You want to just.
It's very therapeutic.
Yes,
why you feel like it's therapeutic?
Not only soothing for me, but when I write, I just want to get it out to the audience, the people, so everybody else can hear it, and they just share my story with them, and it's get
your
that,
perspective.
Yeah, my perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, man. How'd you feel when you did that piece at Union Temple? I mean, it was so, it was very receptive by everybody.
It was like crazy. Like, when I was moments of me writing it, I was just like, it's gonna be one of those pieces. I was telling everybody around me. I was like, as soon as I did it, I just then the reception was just response, the feedback was just amazing.
Wow.
It was just amazing.
Yeah, and that was just beautiful, brother, man. How you laid that out, man. With poetry, I mean, are you interested in other type of writing as well, or just poetry for now?
Just poetry for right now, but I always take interest, like how motivational speakers or speakers period, just how they put their words. It's
how
poetry.
They put it together.
Yeah, how they put
it's
it
poetry
together.
emotion.
It's poetry emotion. Just like I always get captivated and intrigued, like Eric Thomas or Les Brown, Ray Lewis. I just get.
Oh yeah, you listen to Les Brown?
Yes, sir.
Man, ain't no young people listen to Les Brown.
Yeah.
He's very inspirational, man, and motivational. But Les Brown, then a good friend of mine, I don't know if you're familiar with him. Been trying to get him on the show forever. My good friend, I can't think. Willie Jolly, man. My good friend, shout out to Willie Jolly. Great, one of the top motivational speakers in the world. And started with Les Brown in the early days. So shout out to my good friend Willie Jolly. Setup is a comeback for setup. I hope I got the title right. But yes, motivational speaking always helps, man. It really does. And you can, and what I do a lot of times is my poetry is motivational, inspirational, and I like to think it's educational.
Yeah.
It's all of that.
I feel like it's the same way for me. People like, when I do public speaking or poetry or just performing period, it's not for me. It's to help others. If I can inspire at least one
Person, yeah.
even more.
And you never know.
Yes.
You never know,
what those people are going through. Without my story can be a testament, influential message to them. So that's how I feel every time I write.
So I like to open with a piece,
Yes,
the namesake of this show that I wrote some years ago, and it's simply entitled "Color Me Poetry." And this part one, in the end, when we finish, I'll end with part two. And it's simply entitled "Color Me Poetry." Color me the man that cried I am, and that will be my eternal flame. Color me poetry, for nobody knows my name. I am the middle passage and after. You are me and I am you. We wear the mask of America, something old, something new. For I am poetry. I am the living experience. I am the lifelong proof. Color me the poetry of nothing but the truth. I am, color me a love child lost in the promised land. I am a poem for black hearts going to meet the man. I am not to be sold nor bought, so color me a scholar in the school of thought, for I am poetry. Color me the rose and the thorn. I am the timeless hopes of dreams yet unborn. I am for my people a portrait of pride. Color me the Negro who speaks the rivers deep down inside, for I am poetry. Let us lift every voice and sing of black and no bards of long ago. Color me a song in spite of myself, that all the world might know. Color me poetry, for I am poetry. No curse words.
No curse words. Yes, positive language. Yeah.
Yeah, positive and inspirational at the same time. Yeah. So you positive, inspirational music really is a thing for you that really helped inspire you.
Yeah. Like I stated earlier, I always want to do something positive. I'm also trying to transition with a little bit of instrumentals or music on the back, some type of like piano, something that could be more captivating and intriguing.
Yes.
And I'm around great people as well, just to give me, sharpen my skills.
I understand, because I'm a musician myself.
Yes, sir.
And songwriters. So what kind of music or poetry or other people or even songs that's inspirational, motivational, and educational for you that may inspire you? Are there particular songwriters or particular writers or poets who influence you?
This guy, like one of my mentors, is at UDC right now. Professor Dr. Plore. Professor Lyrical is his rapper name. He's from Massachusetts, but he's a mathematician and faculty specialist.
He's a writer?
Yeah, he's a writer, a rapper.
Okay. Oh, right.
Motivation speaker, a lot of things. Also, Matt Capone, he's a DMV artist. Oliver, the poet, another DMV artist. And even
a number of people.
Yeah, a number of people. Music, I just like a lot of soulful stuff, 90s R&B, that's just my thing. And I always just try to, I'm more of an introvert, so I try to grab inspiration for myself and what's around.
So you read the lyrics and stuff? Like
yes, I'm a man of I'm a wordsmith.
Are there any rappers who particularly you like? Lyrically?
Toby Noigwe, he's a rapper from Houston, Texas, inspirational.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's and Benny the Butcher, it's like
Benny the Butcher. Now I ain't familiar with Benny.
Yeah, so he's like, he has more vulgar language, but his message, his story is like captivating. Like I can relate to it. And Royce the 5'9" and Saha the Prince, those artists that I acknowledge they pen, the way they put their words together is creative. They have a story, so that's what I gravitate to, people that have a story. So
now, even those rappers who I listen to, who I admire, who do use the four-letter words, I mean, that doesn't stop me from getting the message of the story. No, it don't.
Yeah.
But that's their style. Yeah. But I admire many writers. I mean, old school, you might say Gil Scott-Heron, and oh God, there's so many people. I mean, in terms of lyricists and writers, Stevie Wonder, I mean, on and on and on. Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, there's a whole lot of people. I was the kind of kid when I was coming up, like I was about albums. Y'all don't have albums now, I know. I was speaking to some kids one time, like in the school, and we was talking about music and stuff. We was talking about Motown and all that. And so I bought these records, like a LP, They didn't really know what that was.
was, yeah.
And then I bought like a 45, the smaller one.
Yeah.
They didn't know what that was either.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, one kid said he thought that was Donna Ross earring. I said, no, it ain't Donna Ross earring.
But you know, it's a streaming era. Everything is just
Everything's
tangible
streaming
on the
now.
phone and everything.
That's
It's
right. Yeah,
easy
the
to
technology.
Get it. Technology, SoundCloud,
Yeah.
Spotify, Tidal, whatever
Yeah.
it may be. People can grab
Yeah,
it
well,
and get it.
yeah, I know because my nephew helps me. And I have music on Spotify, not just Spotify, but also on YouTube and you know all that stuff. So I'm trying to make my way as old head. You know, it's old head school, but it's all
Many
good.
ways to get exposure.
Nowadays, yeah.
You know,
So the industry has changed a lot. Yeah.
tech
Wow.
definitely evolved to a higher magnitude,
Mhm.
and everybody has to like try to. I'm not saying try to follow the trend, but find your niche, and you know what I mean.
And not try to be like somebody else,
Yeah.
sound like somebody else. That's what I don't like. You know, be your unique self.
And that's the kind of funny that you said that like poets or writers I listen to. I listen to a lot of stuff, but it's just like I'm my biggest inspiration in a way. Like you know what I mean. Even the people that's around, but I don't try to mimic or anybody's style. Like
And you
people
never
say,
should.
yeah.
Because what God has given you as an individual writer, as an individual poet, is totally different from the way He's given it and other people express themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm always telling you, no. Don't try to sound like nobody else. Be you.
Yeah.
The Creator has given you a unique gift.
Yeah.
Use that.
Yeah. I see.
So people hear you, they're like, okay, there's there's a homie from around the corner. And your ears perk up. You say, "Woo, that boy, he got something different going on."
Yeah.
You don't want to be known as for sounding like somebody.
I don't ever try to follow a style, you know what I mean, just not me. Like I just always try to be me. Like he's like, you're not technically a poet, you're a rapper. I'm like, what is the definition of how a poet supposed to come across the sound?
Right,
It's
yes.
positive, it's a message. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah. Who wrote the blueprint? There ain't no blueprint. Use what the Creator has given you.
Yes, sir.
Now we talking poetry. I want to hear something from you, man. What you want to do?
um,
Anything you might want to do is fine.
I start off with this one. It's entitled "The Way I See It,"
Okay.
and it goes something like this. I roam on streets where gun shells and blood stains are still left against the pavement. In a nation of hostile gestures and vacant conversations, a place where many look at in amazement, but I view it with the lens of two parties that consist of the fortunate mixed with the tainted. Why isn't there any solutions to what we're currently facing? It's because the majority are at the personal attainment, leaving the burden on the few that are genuinely in favor of community rehabilitation. Why is exercising our rights and voicing our opinions considered as flagrant? By highlighting our weaknesses and advertising our miseries globally doesn't get the same accommodation. We're in a day and age where looks, likes, and follows on a page can grant you with more opportunities to earn more than a college graduate or a person that's been working hard for years but able to find a job that pays higher than minimum wage. How can this be the land of the free and the brave when the ulterior motive is to keep us uninformed and afraid? I'm from one of the highest crime-infested regions where we'd rather be opposition than build businesses and work in cohesion. No plans for the future. Scamming and corner hustling is what my generation sees as appeasing. But I'm before you today to demonstrate how to live out your purpose and be a man of humanitarianism and reason.
Wow. And that's called
The Way I See It.
The Way I See It. Wow. What made you write that piece, Chris?
Got challenged by my mentor again, just saying something on a political standpoint or what I see in the world, what's going on, and how it's affecting us, lower income, middle class, or the people that's haven't given the opportunities or chances or don't have a voice. So I just wanted to speak on in my perspective and what's going on, and hopefully we can do better for ourselves.
You said it well, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You said it well. Wow, man. So when did you write that?
I wrote that last year, early 2019.
Wow,
Yeah,
man.
so
That's beautiful, brother.
Yeah, so just
So poems just come to you?
yeah. When I get given that
How?
time,
How's the writing process?
my
work for
process is like always develop around a concept, what I want to do, what I'm saying. It's just like, all right, it's always gonna be inspirational,
Yeah.
uplifting,
Or motivation.
yeah. But this is like, all right, how can I reach it if it's gonna be on an educational standpoint, or just what's going on in society, or the Kwanzaa piece, you know.
Yeah,
just
we gonna
certain
get to
things-
that, right?
Yeah, we gonna get to
Yeah,
that.
come on with it.
Yeah, but that's just how it flows and goes. So I just write if it's even on a pen and pad, but also on my phone and just rehearse it nonstop.
Wow.
So
But I love it, brother, because it's deep, but there's a certain kind of simplicity to your writing as well.
I always try to it's a creative, like I go through a lot of stuff in my head representing like what line will go or why I see will fit or just fit me, and I'll go through consolidate a lot of rhymes and lines until I make it the right one. But I always try to make sure it resonates with different age groups of people, no matter if it's old, young, everybody can relate.
Everybody can relate to
and
it.
resonate to it.
Yeah, wow, man.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about freestyle?
If you got that trait, gift, and skill, do it.
Yeah, I seen brothers do it, man. I'm like, oh no, man.
Like me, it's more of a thought. Me, it's more of a thought. Like I have to, you sit
that you
down.
expand on.
Yeah, so it's like over time you gotta practice. But me, I have to put that in my arsenal repertoire.
And you seen brothers that can throw it down. The sisters, do
Yes.
it? Yeah. Oh, I mean, I seen this one sister, man. I'm like, woo. Goodness. I mean, it's just like in writing, there's a literary term we call stream of consciousness.
Yes.
And they just take a thought and then run with it, man. They start off on the ground, but you know what? They're in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
I'm like, woo.
But I feel like that's practice in a way too.
Really?
It is.
I admire
practice.
that, though.
Yeah,
You seen people, did they do that sometime at y'all readings and stuff?
Yes, like
Wow.
Professor Dr. Lyrical, he's a master at that. But I'm just saying that's
Really?
just one person that came off. That's effortlessly. But he said if you got something and you know how to do freestyle, that just make you another step doper.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Well, I like to dedicate this piece to the children, young kids.
Yes.
Do it for the children. And the love of every man, woman, boy, and girl, you can find the key to the heart of the world. For each and every one, got to find a better way to do what some say just can't be done. Do it for the children and all that you do and say. Do it for the children. The lifetime of love got to be a better way. Do it for the children. Teach the children the truth. The seed, the innocence of child is a seed of truth for all to see. Teach the children the truth. They're the fruit of the family tree. There's so much that the world needs that there's just too little love. And all we really got to do is give a little more love. Do it for the children. Do it for the children and all that you do and say. Do it for the children. A lifetime of love got to be a better way. Do it for the children. Teach the children the truth.
Great.
It's real.
Yeah.
You know.
Real.
Yeah.
We feel to give somebody the honest, genuine, us, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Telling people the right way, educating them, informing them, just helping them make their journey less difficult. What we had to go through, no matter where it is.
So how old are you again?
I'm 23.
You're 23. But see the image that you're giving as a young writer, as a young poet. There's young people watching you.
And that's why I always try to be a role model, be an example. But I always try to make my work so it appreciates over time. I don't write just for the moment.
So you got younger siblings?
Neighbors, cousins,
Really?
people that look up to me, even people at my school. I always try to have that positive, like I said, positive representation of me.
But you're not the only child.
No, I have a sister on my father's side.
Oh, okay.
But she's older than me though. So.
She writes too?
No, she doesn't write.
Yeah, man. So this is beautiful to have you here, man. I mean, just talk about your writing. Where you see yourself? Eventually, maybe doing a book or a recording.
Doing a lot of things. Create my own like mixtape or album. Creating a book. Developing my own nonprofit with disadvantaged kids and youth and people that's in the city. Help them mentor, motivational speaker, just all along the lines of getting them there.
Motivation and poetry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You got another piece you want to share?
Yes, sir. So this one is entitled "The Resilient Product Has a Voice."
Give us the story. Well, read it first, then we get the story behind it.
Okay. You want me to say the stories first?
Yeah, give me the story behind it.
So me is just like always a man of perseverance, overcoming, and this gave
Adversity.
me adversity, challenges, and this gave me my voice, gave me my light. You know what I mean? Looked in a different way, in a different light. Just all the things I'm overcoming still to this day. And it's like sometimes I'm still overlooked, but I'm gonna show you that I'm only achieving, headed towards excellence.
I like you said the word light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did an old piece called "Look to the Light." Positivity. Look to the light. It may be a black light, but it's still a light.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on with it.
I've been making significant steps, but it still feels like I'm overlooked. A young, impressive scholar with phenomenal lectures that's more captivating than a catchy and competent hook. My characteristics surpass a rook. You don't have to give me the opportunity. I'm carving my way without a push, heading direction towards a life that's above conditional. Domination is the attitude, and coming in second isn't even considerable. Resources minimal, surroundings was pitiful. So much chaos that I corrupt your goals from becoming visible. This is why I'm on a quest to make luxury habitual. They ain't never say a challenge, but I couldn't manage. They always try to take you off your balance when you possess more than talent. I'm prevailing over every underhanded tactic that's trying to leave me damaged. Just working to bring the lavish to my advantage. Early on, all I wanted to do was put a ball in the rim. But now I'm claimed a definite gem. From what I spark with a pen, I'm writing for the ones that's not destined to win. Who chances are slim and judge before they even begin. I just hope my messages demonstrate what you can accomplish if you come from within. From vicinity polluted with heavy misery, less victories, devious and evil activity, followed up by non-existent stability. Well, making it past 21 is accomplishing history. My upbringing was ruled by tons of negative imagery, but I still didn't let it stop me from seizing inner serenity. I'm a devoted, humble threat that's highly cerebral, that's striving to just behave from hateful to peaceful. My intentions is mainly advocating for equal, with written commitments that are in favor of suppressing the evil. What I'm encouraging is verbally lethal. These announcements are not here to mislead you. Just look at me as a passionate, gifted individual with plans of building a platform to unite as people.
Wow. Backstory. What were you thinking?
Always a positive message, but like showing people those last few sentences, just showing that what I want to do in a whole concise way. Like I want to build a platform for the people, my friends, family, and others to expose their gifts and talents, all in a positive way, not a negative way, not to cause chaos and harm to the world, but all in a positive light, the impact of us and generations to come.
Wow. That brings me to a piece I'd like to share.
Come on,
motivation. Now this is not a piece I wrote, but it's a piece I admire. Actually, it's written by George Clinton and James Allen. I know you don't know who George Clinton is, but that's like Parliament Funkadelic. You ever heard of him?
I heard of him, but I have.
I know. That's before you got here.
Yes, definitely.
So this is a great piece. I love this piece as well. So it's simply entitled "Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts," and you can respond, after if you like. Travel like a king, listen to the inner voice. A hidden wisdom is at work for you. Conquering the stumbling blocks come easier when the conqueror is in tune with the infinite. Every ending is a new beginning. Life is an endless unfoldment. Change your mind and you change your relation to time. You can find the answer. The solution lies within the problem. The answer is in every question. An attitude is all you need to rise and walk away. Your life is yours. It fits you like your skin. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The giant Aquarius sleeps in his tiny seed. The bird waits in the egg. God waits for his unfolding in man. You gravitate to that which you secretly love most. You meet in life the exact reproduction of your own thoughts. There is no chance, coincidence, or accident in a world ruled by law and divine order. You rise as high as your dominant aspiration. You descend to the level of your lowest concept of yourself. The infinite intelligence within you knows the answer. It's nature to respond to your thoughts. Be careful of the thought seeds you plant in the garden of your mind, for seeds grow after their kind. Every thought felt as true or allowed to be accepted as true by your conscious mind take root in your subconscious, and sooner or later blossoms and bears, and sooner or later into an act and bears its own fruit. Good thoughts bring forth good thoughts. Bad thoughts will rot your flesh. Think right and you can fly. The kingdom of heaven is within. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Yeah.
What made you admire that piece?
I just love what it says because it's inspirational, motivational, and educational. And the thoughts are really thoughts I think that most of us don't think about in that way. We may know it, but we don't always know it on the conscious level.
And I feel like my friend told me this earlier. Like we have all that we possess. It just giving that
all
right
that
time.
you need when you got here.
Yeah, we all have it all, and just giving that right time, moment, and opportunity for us to give it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's I just love that piece because it is motivation, and
Definitely.
and I love motivational and inspirational pieces as well. Of course, I write all kinds of stuff myself.
Yeah.
I was looking for another piece I want to share, but I'll get to it in a minute. Come on with me. What you got? What you got for me?
Got this other piece that's called "Make Change."
Man, you've been very prolific, man. You've been rolling up in here, boy. Go on, youngin. I love to see young people who have that kind of talent and gift and focus.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Another political piece or what's
That's
going on in the world, but I feel like it's necessary. I said, let me do this one. I'd rather have this one. Message for generations to come.
Okay.
Grit came from experiencing hard times. Youngins outside in the corner before the sunrise. Kids involved in the streets, which resulted in lost lives. I shed tears too if I lost mine. You could see the struggle and pain in their eyes. Getting it from the corner was the only way they survive. Not enough expressing positivity to see them thrive. All they see is dark days filled with rain, which caused them to inflict pain. Some teens' homes is war zones. The streets don't show love, so they heart they keep closed. The pistol they keep close for whatever that unfolds. This environment has to change, we have to become bold. The code is to keep the street life untold. It was nothing but a lot of liquor poured and blood spilled along these back streets. We went from having road games to sliding with demons up in that backseat. Roads where they only breed drug traffickers and athletes. I'm here to give hope to every inner city youth that's fighting a rap sheet. Have you ever had cops pull you over? Homies pass, got calls for money, and grad rehearsal all happened in the same week while trying to make some extra ends? Just a few years ago, my life was all about living it above the rim. Night sessions in the gym, way before the pen. Back when we was out, Florida was getting thin, suffering just to get a win. Me and Tay scraped up all we had for that 5 for 10. If this was 4 years ago, and you told me I'd be gracing stages and touching lives, I wouldn't even be believing you. Cause I'm stationed with a good die young, and aspirations get shattered before reaching 22. Got a couple of good homies locked, and I lost a few. Hard to tell a younger with potential to stay focused when death, drugs, and violence is what he's accustomed to. I'm doing 80 on the interstate going after my dreams. Death in the family struck early, which caused me to be a man before I even hit the age of a teen. I may have rose above my past, but as you can see, it's still hard for me to erase what I've seen. My message is to share my story with the world and build a platform to constructively empower my team. This is not for fame, credit, or figures. I'm here to lead my brothers and sisters towards something bigger. Say your bright ideas. I'm more concerned with how it's going to be delivered. I spit with heavy conviction, because new generation world leaders is what I'm hoping to trigger. I'm a seasoned beginner, witty contender, 100%er, the beat of the people / community member that strive for social change while giving back to inner cities, no matter the background, origin, or gender.
Wow. What's your story, man? Why you write that piece, Chris?
People that come after me, like something for them to leave behind and showing somebody I'm only young, but I'm a man among my years, or above my years, beyond my years, and just leaving something behind for them. That's something like positive example. Like you can do the same thing, you can be in these same shoes, but it's like, all right, what are you doing for others? How are you trying to impact others? And this is my way of avenue or channel to impact or reach them.
And everything ain't about you.
It's not about me.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Pull your pants up. I'm real, man. Pull your pants up. Sag and Becknute. The sagging lookers are low down dirty mess. Brothers who sag might as well wear a dress. With purpose and pride, I'm putting you on blast for dropping your pants and sagging below half mast. And I'm not saying that no belt and sagging is a crime, but I don't want to see the crack of your behind. Sagging is a social shame and public sin, will never help young brothers grow from boys to men. As a subculture of self-destruction misunderstood, it came from the prisons to the streets of the hood. Sagging as a foolish fad has gotten on a hand, but it's merely fashion to those who don't understand. When you decide to go partially buck nude, it's not only wrong, but downright rude. So sagging as a social shame and public sin will never help young brothers grow from boys to men. Pull your pants up.
So it's like a meaning behind, like
Yeah.
we always say, but put it in the poetic. It's a meaning behind more than just sagging of the pants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How long? I always wanted to ask like other writers, like how long does it take you to write your poems?
Depends on what it is.
Depending on what it is.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I'm the kind of writer that I do a lot of reading and a lot of research. So it depends. This didn't take long at all.
Yeah.
I just observant. I'm very observant.
Yeah.
And I observe.
Same.
Yeah, I observe everything, And one day I seen, brother had a sandwich in one hand and a phone in the other. He going across the street and the pants fall down. He got the phone trying to pull up his pants and trying to bite the sandwich. What kind of mess is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and he's like sagging low. I'm like, man, what is?
And they do it in confidence, like
Yes.
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, like it's the right thing to do.
It's
The right thing to do is be watch where you're going in the middle of the street. Somebody beneath you out there. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what is it?
No, you're right.
I was like, I don't understand this, man.
I get it all the time. Like even from my family to this day,
Really?
just make sure you don't sag your pants. But I don't carry myself that way. But I just know.
Okay. But you see it though,
Yeah,
so you know what I'm
honestly,
talking
yes,
about.
Sir, yes, sir. Just
Yeah.
But we need pieces like that, more of that. You know what I mean? To talk about it and highlight it that it's not acceptable. We're not for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But where do you think it comes from? When you see that,
you know what I mean? Everybody
part of
wants
the
to
culture.
follow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you see it and it's cool, it's other people are doing it, somebody's getting
It's a
liked
thing.
and attention from it. Why not do it? That's what
Yeah.
we all doing. Like people, like we talk about cursing. It's like that's what's pushing the needle, getting people recognized or highlighted, or bringing the attention to them. Why not follow it? Why break the? You know what I mean?
Why not be different?
Yeah.
Why not be?
That's how I follow. Why
Yeah.
not be different? Why not be
Why
myself?
not be different? Be yourself.
Stand on my
Instead
morals
of-
and principles.
Yeah. But some people, even like in school, some people need to be a part of certain groups and that kind of thing. You find the same thing with young people in school.
Yeah, everybody wants it. As I gain this,
Be
not
accepted.
everybody. Everybody wants to be accepted. Some people, because people don't want to be alone, because it gets, like I said, on the road by themselves, because it gets lonely. You know what I mean? But I'm okay with that. It builds
Some
character.
people not.
It builds growth. It
Yes.
builds integrity. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with. I don't need to be necessarily aligned with something for me to be.
'Cause everybody
myself.
doing it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I always stand out.
In other words, having your own mind.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Sir.
Yeah, I call it thinking for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, what you gonna share now? You gonna bring it? What if you want to bring? Whatever you want to bring.
Okay.
Because I want the piece that you did for Kwanzaa.
Okay. I can say that for my last piece.
Okay.
After this,
All
or
right.
whatever maybe.
Okay, no, go ahead. Do this one. We'll say that for last.
This one is the Make Change poem.
Okay.
So it goes something like this. It's an increase in numbers when the season's rougher. Looking at my timeline and saying, not another. Repeated tragedies against black males in urban areas that's considered. The gutter makes me wonder, why are we only united when we under? Nothing good comes from this behavior, we only suffer. How many bodies had to be laid to rest before us to become conscious? It cannot be freedom and full opportunities when your lower class is presented with less options, exaggerated solutions to problems that leads to false promise. In a nation where enhancing knowledge will make you a target. Does appearance outweigh a qualified resume? Does a test determine what you can display? How many years of cheap labor do we have to give before garnering a deserving pay? Are there any answers to these previous statements? Or better yet, what if you were asked these questions? What would you say? A lot of us aspire for more than our day-to-day, but when your imperfections is publicized, a meaningful message is harder to convey. Hard to speak equality when there's less empathy displayed in the current policy, with ongoing rises in unemployment and poverty, only results to massive effects in the economy. Biased opinions and unlawful convictions has become a tradition, with less advocates making a difference and our general population failing to listen. It becomes a crime making your mission efficient. From this day forward, no more exhibitions of submission. Let's take back our position as we rise above those given decisions and not fall victim to this unethical system.
Wow, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, I know you got a story for that.
Yeah, this, everything is always not in our favor. Like I said, we don't have a voice.
How did that come to you? How did that piece come to you? What were you doing? What was the thought that created that piece?
I need to speak on, voice something, or write a piece that highlights or what we're facing every day, what we're encountering every time we step outside our house. Racially profiled, judged,
Come on.
opinionated, just having the odds stacked up against us. And they feel like it's acceptable if it's through social media, if it's through internet, if it's through TV. They don't ever highlight all the good things people are doing, like me, you, or other people that's in the community, in the areas, are doing the hard work, doing the labor. And other people are doing shortcuts and they're getting highlighted. You know what I mean? Getting attention and exposure to them, and it's not acceptable, it's not right. So I just wanted to speak on that.
Wow, and you did. Wow, beautiful, brother. Now, this piece here is not a political piece, even though I have a whole lot of them, because I write about everything.
Yes.
But I like to dedicate this piece to the president and the Senate. This is a piece dedicated to President Donald Trump and to the U.S. Senate, and it's simply entitled "Stop Lying." Okay. If you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. When there's no foundation of truth on which to stand, living a lovable lie is like walking on quicksand. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. A lie told on the truth is not something you can defend, because truth crushed the earth will always come up again. So let the truth be your guide in your lust to tell a lie, and you will find that you can stop it if you try. For if you lie to yourself, you'll lie to any and everybody else. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. Because if you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. Stop lying.
Yeah, it's habitual. It's a habit.
It's a habit.
One after another.
Yeah,
So
that's why I could dedicate it to them. Of course, I got a million other pieces out.
That's why I always try to keep it just genuine.
I got to be real.
Gotta be real. Gotta be me.
Got to be real.
Raw, uncut. You know what I mean? But all in a positive, healthy way.
So poetry for you. How has your work been received? Like, you know, at school with friends, you do readings. How have they responded?
The reception.
Have you ever done like readings where, you know, what do you call it, slams?
Not yet.
Really?
So my journey is just a little different. I've been doing open mics, things at different churches.
People invite you to do
People assembly, things with 1DC, things at my school. I hosted events at my school and performed there. Different things, like various things, but I've been things in front of town hall meetings as well at the Rise demonstrations and over there in Ward 8.
Oh, okay. You been there?
Yes, I
Wow, dropping
it. Yeah, for a Stop the Violence type of panel with 5 phenomenal individuals. But I had the opportunity from Dr. Cherie Ward. She's another poet, amazing poet. She's one of my other teachers and mentors as well. And she offered me the opportunity to perform there. And I did 2 pieces, and it was a phenomenal.
Well, I hope they get to see this show as well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you got to make sure you show them.
Yeah, and that's the reception, but the feedback has just been phenomenal. It wasn't when I was doing basketball, I was just like, that's the same thing. Rinse, wash, and repeat. What can I do else to thread the needle? And as soon as I did it, I just hit the ground running, and everybody just been, gravitating to it. It's like, it's meant for me to do it. That's what everybody keeps saying, it's meant for you to do it.
Wow. Well, speaking of basketball, who was some of your favorite?
Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
Michael Jordan.
So where were you and what were you thinking when you heard about the tragedy with Kobe Bryant?
Didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, it's very hard, man.
It's still like, how could this be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did you want to write something?
It just made me want to work harder. Just not making no excuses about life, even though I said it, but it just
There's nothing from us.
It just like, I looked at Kobe as a pure individual, like straight up and down. Like even though he had certain things, but
Genuine.
like genuine, just straight
Yeah,
up and down.
that's how I perceived him.
Yeah,
He's been
so.
very genuine.
Mhm.
So I just finished the piece on Kobe. It's not out yet, but it'll be out. It'll be out on Monday.
Yeah, just phenomenal individual, bigger than basketball. It wasn't just about basketball, just how he
No,
carried
it's
himself.
about life, yeah.
How he carried himself, and that's how I kind of like we was similar. You know, like how you similar to Kobe, just how you carry certain things, what you engage in, what you value, and what are you not going to fall into. It's like you, your own man. You're gonna be yourself. You're gonna be obsessive, and heavily involved with what you do and love what you do.
But you know what impressed me so much with Kobe? Well, I mean his skill, but he worked at it. Is that he came straight out of high school and went straight to the pros.
Took on a challenge.
Took on a challenge, and boy, look what he did.
And that's why I always say this, like how do you get it, or how can I do what you do? I'm like, it's a part of me showing up, but it's also a part of me building relationships, networking, socializing.
That means a lot. Building relationships.
That's why I'm at certain places and doing what I can, just showing up and wowing the crowd and doing what I can. So that's how I discredit it too as well.
Wow.
It's not just hard work, but you got to be obsessed and know what you want and have great intentions. Always make sure your intentions are honest and pure.
But in my reading and research for this piece I wrote, I also sensed that there was a certain level of maturity to come straight out of high school and go straight to the pros. I mean, that's kind of what's unheard of when he did that. I mean,
out of this world confidence.
Yeah.
Knew he was ready.
Yes, he knew he was ready.
Knew he was ready.
And he showed the world, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
Transcended NBA in the world.
Yes. Yes, it really did, man. It just was phenomenal, really. All right, so would you ready for?
You want me to spit the
Yeah.
cards of
Yeah, let's go and spit it because I don't know how much time I got left.
Okay.
But, so what's it called, and why did you write this piece? And why did you decide to do this piece at Kwanzaa as opposed to 1,000 other pieces you could have done?
So, I was dressed by Miss Greenhouse. She's a teacher at UDC.
Yes.
So she was like, from Mr. Ployd, she was like, she was connected with Mr. Ployd at first. She was like, I need somebody to do the spoken word at Union Temple at this event coming up.
Really?
He's like, I already had the perfect person. He referred her to me. He's like, I need you to write it. This was back in October. But I wasn't able to write it at that time because school was going on and all this going on. So I was like, how am I going to, I don't know too much about Kwanzaa, so I started asking close family members, neighbors, and everything. So I was like, what am I going to do? I started doing my research, started looking about the 7 principles, how it was developed, who started it.
Yes.
And I was just like, after all my research, I was just like, I got to just be me.
Yes.
So I was like, why don't me take the 7 principles or what it represents and put that poetically, creatively, not in order.
Incorporate.
But not in order,
Not
but just
necessarily
state
in order.
it and just state it and how we can do better and do more.
How we can use
and
it.
it's entitled Righteousness.
Come on with it.
And go something like that. I had to wash away my bad habits before I could live a life of purity. We live in a world that's infested with self-entitled, opportunistic, selfish, and what you can do for me, foolery. Those LA riots and racial attacks amongst blacks spark ways to take action, to stand together back within our African American communities. We must demonstrate cohesion if we ever want to get back to where we used to be. The underprivileged youth is who I do it for and who I give hope to. Who knows where I would have been if I didn't pick up the pen, started sharing my story, and becoming more vocal. I give less attention to the popularity, likes on social media, currency and capital, you know, those monetary totals, and care more about being the best person I can be, delivering a positive message, impacting others, all while remaining upstanding and noble. We cannot expect our communities or environments to change if there's only a handful of people willing to take the leap and whose vision holds the same. It's not about the stats or analytics, but it is a numbers game. Whenever you've ever seen 2 people get on and take off on a plane? All I'm saying is it requires more hands on deck to achieve a greater gain. We can't just stand behind our neighborhoods only in moments of success and not throughout the moments of struggle. These are the ones that were there from the start, that would take the time out to get to know you and love you. They said it takes a village to raise a child. But what they don't say is a village is a reliable support system and a daily alleviator of our troubles. Let me ask you something. What's your desires? What's your motives? Better yet, what's your reason? You get to a point where there's more to life than moments and seasons. Find something that drives you, makes the world a better place, and has a meaning. And stay away from situations that keep you from evolving, cause depression, and that are also demeaning. Don't let any pessimistic forces try to sway your mind. Our culture is expressed through art, music, dance, food, and handcrafted garments, patented with a unique design. These are just a few ways of how we're defined. Black pigment under the sunlight results in a radiant glow. Case in point, we're always meant to shine. Servicing my people with every step and breath I take is my common vow. Conform to anything that isn't aligned with my morals is something I would not allow. What our race is faced with is downright unjustly and truly foul. Happiness is not what they want us to see. They rather us be oppressed, raise the white flag, or throw in the towel. But we are rich. We are strong. We are successful. We have a holiday that's a tribute to our culture and heritage and centered around 7 principles that builds us up to be special. We may not ever see the day that our streets will be in the direction of progress if we continuously fail to own property and invest, failing to consider the lineage after us, rather rent and lease instead of owning, and they wonder why everything we have gets taken right from under us, which makes us become stressed and end up with less. Hard to believe you want better for urban areas and want the black dollar to circulate and multiply when you willingly give your hard-earned money up for companies that are solely for profit and are commercialized. This week-long ceremony is to unite, inspire, uplift, empower, and educate. It's not to be monetized. We light candles to represent hope, the land, the people, and the struggles of our ancestors that didn't survive. Let me finish this.
Come on with it,
Let me finish this.
Yes, man, that was, oof. That's part one, yo.
Let me finish it.
Because I know it's a long part.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, man. I was there with you. I'm there with you, man. Just pick right up where
Okay.
you were.
It's our duty to maintain us around the streets of where we sleep. We must hold each other accountable. Look out for one another. Have our brothers and sisters keep all while knowing actions will also override verbal statements. Because talk is cheap. Our lifelong friends be the ones who come from where we come from. Experience what we've experienced. That's an unbreakable bond that runs deep. Don't conceal what you have learned. Give information. Give knowledge. Give advice. Give guidance. And let's put an end to being self-absorbed, antisocial, viewing society as the enemy, and moving through life as walk and pray. Let's develop leadership programs and become mentors to those that have been mentally scarred, damaged, and went astray. We must connect, teach, listen to, and let them know that their lives matter and should be valued each and every day, and show them how to hustle to earn an honest dollar the legal way. We may come from many different places all over the world, but we are no different. We are the same. And whatever you're going through, just know you are not alone. We are a team. And your trials are my trials. And your problems then become my problems. as we come together and figure out how to resolve the issue. This artistry I exhibit to you all this evening is more than a passion. This is poetic declaration for future generations, one-on-one empowerment blended with education. I'm not only uplifting hoods in my region, but also giving wisdom to different countries as well as other surrounding nations. There's so many youngins falling victim to temptation and need a love and inspiration. But what I do before you all is not a side hustle, pastime, or occupation. This is my calling and daily obligation. I went from being lackluster, poor and inadequate, to being a narrator of the ghetto and youth advocate, a hard worker that wasn't blessed to be talented, who found his role in this world from undergoing stints of abandonment. This road wasn't ever easy. I overcame the most strenuous challenges, and I still shed tears and awe of how I managed it. But I was still sacrifice and risk it all so the ones that come after me can be awarded equal opportunities and advantages. Don't let nothing come in the way of your destined fate. Just know that jealousy and spite is always brewed by hate. Throughout your journey, just make sure you put God first and keep the faith, and understand that success doesn't have a deadline or expectancy date. This is a long-term grind. It is not a race. So no matter how slow, medium, or fast you're going, do whatever that feels comfortable to you. Go at your own pace. Show no fear, and look those obstacles dead in their face. And always remind yourself, you were born to be great.
Woo, Lord, have mercy, boy. Thank you, Christian, for coming to share. Brothers and sisters, we've been here with the great poet, young person is from UDC.
Yes,
and I am so impressed with him. To do that long poem from memory, that boy's smart. Yeah, man, to do that from memory. I used to do that when I was your age.
The real quick, like, it was just a lot of sacrifice, and like, it was tough for me to, how I was going to compose a piece. I know it's a long and extended piece.
But you did research.
Nights in my car, rehearsing, nights out at different places, just trying to get it right and make this masterpiece. And I just wanted to, like, whatever you're doing, you can do it on 4 days of writing prep. 4 days of writing prep, and the rest of the week was rehearsing. So that was my, like, schedule. I said I had to do it in a short time. Did 3 days or 4 days on writing, and the rest was rehearsed.
I'm glad I recorded it too. I gave you a copy of it. Yes, man. I am so glad I recorded that. I'm like, wow, this is something. Yeah. You see me walking around with that little thing in my hand?
I was like, who is this guy?
That's the digital recorder.
Yeah.
That little digital recorder is a master, man. The sound came out good. Yeah, I said, this young person, I got to get it.
I was not expecting what I was going to get at Union Temple. I didn't know it was going to be that packed house, and the people that was really receptive to it and loved and enjoyed it.
Let's give a shout out and thanks also to the Kwanzaa Committee at Union Temple for inviting you.
Big shout out to them. Thank y'all for having me, opening y'all doors for me, welcoming me with open arms and loving what I, and received, and the feedback was phenomenal.
Yes.
I hope to see y'all again and meet along the lines of something else and do something great.
Yes.
I enjoyed y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed me.
Yes, and I want to thank the pastor too, Pastor Nika Wilson Brown, senior pastor.
Yes, sir.
Wilson,
amazing message and speech.
Yes, it was beautiful. The Kwanzaa was beautiful, but we have to live Kwanzaa every day.
Yes.
Look, I thank you for coming, man. Our time is just about up. Let me share this short piece. This is Color Me Poetry Part 2, and then we out.
Yes, sir.
Color Me Poetry Part 2. I am the language of love and the key of life. I am a wave of words in times of sorrow and strife, for I am poetry. Color me the native son that can't be set apart from the poetry of the soul that's straight from the heart. Color me poetry. I am fantasy, fiction, and fact. Color me the shadow and the act, for I am poetry. Color me low to high and high to low. I am the dark symphony of the unsung hero. Color me the undercurrent in America's mainstream. I am like a ripple on the pond in the all-American dream. Yet I too sing America. Color me Othello the Moor. I am the soul of black folk, the spook who sat by the door. Color me poetry. I am for my people a portrait of pride. Color me the Negro who speaks of rivers deep down inside, for I and poetry. Let us lift every voice and sing of black and unknown parts of long ago. Color me a song in spite of myself that all the world might know. Color me poetry, for I am poetry. I'm Poet Danny Queen. Thank you for tuning in. And we're looking forward to having you coming back, brother, and sharing with us at another
Thank
day.
you for having me, Mr. Queen.
You got to keep on keeping on.
Yes.
Poet Danny Queen, this is Color Me Poetry. Until next time, color me poetry. I am, I can, and I will. Love, peace, and poetry.